On Tuesday, the 31st of December 2019, during a live New Year's Eve service in Cape Town, South Africa, God's servant Prophet Ryan Jacobs, signified by the Holy Spirit concerning future happenings along the west coast of Africa, specifically Congo and Angola. He mentioned that this would be a happening that will take place on Africa's east coast, which would jump to the west coast. He further mentioned that it would be as West Africa moves up towards Europe. He also mentioned that it would be in the heavens, in the atmosphere, in the seas, and in the sky. These were his words.
The Spirit of the Lord speaks in my left ear and says, watch Congo, watch Angola. Look to see what will happen along the east coast. They'll jump to the west coast, and as West Africa moves up towards Europe, see what will happen there. It shall be in the heavens, in the atmosphere, in the seas, and in the sky. Yes. It shall affect the nation.
True to what the Lord signified by his prophet, a few days later, international media outlets began to report that on Thursday, the 9th of January 2020, the Falcon undersea cable was cut, severely affecting the internet in countries along Africa's east coast. On the 13th of January 2020, the international magazine, Wired, reported the following on their online platform, Wired.com. It's popular to think of the internet as a cloud, but it's really under the sea. A lattice of massive cables crisscrosses the world, ceding connectivity to every continent, and into each country. Last week, the internet went dark for Yemen and its 28 million citizens. It's still not fully back today. In fact, the entire Red Sea region has dealt with slow to non-existent connectivity since the severing of a single submarine cable on Thursday. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, and Ethiopia all felt major effects from last week's cut of the so-called Falcon cable, which even impacted countries as far away as Comoros and Tanzania. Furthermore, IT Web Africa reported on their online platform itwebafrica.com, on the 16th of January 2020, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Tanzania continue to be affected by the cable cuts to the Falcon undersea cable off Yemen, understood to have occurred on the 9th of January 2020. The Falcon cable is managed by GCX. GCX said while all Layer 1 traffic on the impacted routes remains down, efforts are being made to restore connectivity for customers on critical routes through various available options including third-party cables. Then on the 17th of January 2020, South African media publication, Business Insider South Africa, began to report on their online platform about similar happenings along Africa's west coast. 1 week later, Business Insider reported, in a freak occurrence, 2 key undersea cables that connect South Africa to the global internet have both been hit by separate failures, resulting in very slow internet speeds for some users since Thursday. The South Atlantic 3 West Africa submarine cable, which links Portugal and Spain to South Africa, with connections to several West African countries along the way, has been hit by a breakdown near Libreville, Gabon, ISP Access reported this morning. Meanwhile, the West Africa Cable System, WACS, which links South Africa with the United Kingdom, also along the west coast of Africa, saw an outage off the coast of Congo. This has resulted in some South African internet users experiencing excruciatingly slow speeds since Thursday. The unusual and simultaneous dual cable break has resulted in customers that are connected to OpenServe's global capacity clients experiencing reduced speed on international browsing. International voice calling and mobile roaming has also been impacted, OpenServe said in a statement on Thursday. Furthermore, the international media outlet, Bloomberg, on the 17th of January 2020, also reported via their online platform Bloomberg.com, African internet slows after undersea cables break. Internet users across more than a dozen sub-Saharan African nations experienced slow service after 2 undersea cables to the continent's western coast were damaged this week. One break is near Libreville in Gabon and the other is in the vicinity of Angola's capital, Luanda, OpenServe said in an emailed statement. The cause isn't yet known, and a ship is being sent from Cape Town to repair the cables, Vodacom Group Limited, South Africa's biggest mobile network operator, said in reply to emailed questions. At least 12 countries besides South Africa were affected to at least some degree, according to netblocks.org. a non-profit organization that tracks internet shutdowns and government censorship. In some countries, consumers and businesses can't send emails or make international phone calls. With parts of the cabling lying deep underwater, it's unclear when full connectivity will be restored. One can understand from the aforementioned news bulletins the accuracy of the Holy Spirit's signification through his servant, Prophet Ryan Jacobs. On the 9th of January 2020, the Falcon undersea cable breaks affecting East Africa. 1 week later, 2 undersea cables off the west coast of Africa breaks. The problem thus jumped from the coast of East Africa to the coast of West Africa, just as the prophet signified. The affected West African undersea cables were located close to Congo and Angola, which indicates why the prophet told the people to watch Congo and Angola. The undersea cables affected were the cables that connect Africa to Europe. Just as the prophet said, as West Africa moves up towards Europe, it is also interesting to note that the news articles reporting the event state that although people think of the internet as a cloud, the connection point is actually in the sea. The articles further indicate that Wi-Fi networks, voice calling, cellular networks and the like were all affected. This covers the words of God's prophet, the heavens, in the atmosphere, in the seas, and in the sky. Furthermore, the prophet also mentioned that the nation shall be affected. It is clear from the news articles that the events along the west coast of Africa affected the connectivity in South Africa. Again, let us listen to the words of Prophet Ryan Jacobs on Tuesday, the 31st of December 2019 during the live New Year's Eve service in Cape Town, South Africa.
The Spirit of the Lord speaks in my left ear and says, watch Congo, watch Angola. Look to see what will happen along the east coast. They'll jump to the west coast, and as West Africa moves up towards Europe, see what will happen there. It shall be in the heavens, in the atmosphere, in the seas, and in the sky. Yes. It shall affect the nation.
If that was not enough of a sign that God foretells the future, the daily devotional, Empowered Daily, authored by Prophets Ryan and Deborah Jacobs, in its devotions for January 16 and 17, 2020, dealt with internet broadband and bandwidth as an analogy. It must be understood that this issue of the devotional was authored, printed and distributed in 2019, before these events of January 2020. Prophet Ryan Jacobs often states that the timing of each devotion within the Empowered Daily is prophetic. One can see that not only are the words contained in the Empowered Daily prophetic, the day under which each daily devotion appears is also. We thank God for speaking by the mouth of his prophet, forewarning his people on Tuesday, the 31st of December 2019 about these events in 2020 along the east and west coasts of Africa which would affect South Africa. The Holy Spirit signifies future events by the mouth of his prophets. As it is written, he will show you things to come. God is still speaking to us, today,